Hello, folks. We are back with another edition of Joe Simonelli's Stock Investing and Theater Podcast. Two topics that are mutually exclusive, but which I find great interest in both. But before we get to the fun stuff, the stock market, I have a bunch of new features I'll be introducing on this podcast, folks. Let's get to the really exciting news. Because, as you know, as of the last podcast 2 weeks ago, we were at 33 subscribers. Wait for it, folks. Can you hear that bell? Because if I don't hold it up here, you can't hear it. There you go. It's like the stock exchange closing. New bell. We are up to 41 subscribers, folks. Count them, 41 subscribers. I didn't even tell anybody to subscribe the last 2 weeks. Sometimes I shoot them a direct message. No. This channel is growing organically, folks. And don't forget, when I reach 100,000 subscribers, YouTube will send me a cake of my choice, either chocolate or cheesecake, I think. So let's keep those. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, or don't unsubscribe. What do I care? We'll show YouTube who's boss. Anyway, let's move on now. And the most important thing we're going to talk about today is the stock market because it's going down, folks. And as I told you 2 weeks ago, I was concerned. And 2 weeks ago, I did establish a short position to actually make money as the market falls. And boy, did it work. I told you I had purchased a closed-end fund on the stock exchange, which is the easiest way to take advantage of when you think the market is going to fall. And I chose short the Dow Jones Industrial. The symbol was SDOW. I purchased it at 28.93. I sold 1/3 of my position on Friday at 33.26. So that's a 4 point plus swing, 4.5 points, say. Not bad on a $30 stock. That's like a 10% return in just 2 weeks. Let me see what that closed. I think as the market rallied, so that actually closed at 33.08. What did I say? I sold it, and I sold it at 33.26. So, if the market rallies a reaction rally on Monday, I might reestablish that 1/3 that I sold. We'll see how cheap it gets. Year low. I bought this about the year low. Year high is 75. That's a 52 weeks. So that had to be, close to a year ago, I guess, as the market went up. So again, shorting is a very short-term strategy. That's why in a week, I did take a profit of 10% because they can rally it. And the best way to utilize this on the short side is by trading it. These are not long-term positions. They're as long as you think there's going to be a weak or volatile market. Or the only way it's long term is to hedge your long portfolios if you're not selling. Now, I did on Monday, a week after I established this, when the shit hit the fan, I said, I've had enough. I sold half of my long positions, got into cash. So I still, many of them I had taken profits on already. So I took profits on those. And when the dust clears, I'll probably reestablish positions in those stocks. But I did liquidate half of my longs, and we'll see what happens. There's a lot of rotation. As you know, there's a lot of uncertainty. We're not going to get political. We never do. We just take advantage of what's happening in the market. Okay. So that's that on stocks. If you have any questions on shorting or my long positions, comment and I will answer them. I can't always get a video out every week, but if you have questions, comment here and I'll answer them in the comments. I do look at it once in a while to see what's going on. I didn't even know I had 44 subscribers till I looked today. Oh, 41, I'm sorry. Now, let's introduce our new features, okay? Our first new feature is colloquialisms your mother used that you never knew what the hell she was talking about. First one my mother used to say was, what do you want? Egg in your beer? No, Ma. I don't want egg in my beer. Why would anybody want egg in their beer? Does anybody put egg in their beer? As a matter of fact, now that that thought's in my head, I'll probably never drink a beer again in my life. Second one she used to use on me when I got a little rambunctious as a youngster was, Joey, you better mind your P's and Q's. I didn't know what the hell she was talking. I didn't know what P's and Q's meant till 45 years later when I looked it up. I Googled it. I said, what the hell is mind your P's and Q's? Well, that's another beer reference. Apparently, in England or colonial America, uh, pints and quarts were how they served your beer. So it was mind your pints and quarts. I guess if you looked the way somebody would drink your beer, I have no idea. but that was mind your P's and Q's. Hey, did your mother use colloquialisms on you that you never understood? Put them in the comments. We'll discuss them next week. Put your favorites in there. You had to look it up when Google came because that's the only way you could figure it out. Okay, another new feature. And one of my favorites, new features. Who dies next? Here are your choices, folks. We have Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr from the Beatles. It's a musical one this year. We'll have different genres every week. So the choices this week are Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr from the Beatles, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards from the Stones, Mike Love from the Beach Boys, or Frankie Valli from the Four Seasons, folks. Who dies next? Put your guesses in the comments. You know mine is always going to be Keith Richards because who does more drugs than him? We still can't believe he's alive. Okay, another new feature, folks, because we're chock full of them today. Is he mental? Or, for the politically correct, is he a nutter? So, Neil Young, is he mental? I don't know. Put your favorites in the captions. We'll discuss them. We'll have more Is He Mentals coming up, as we'll have more Who Dies Next. What else? Rants. We have 2 rants of the day for you today. The first one concerns clothing. Because, folks, I'm getting old. Sometimes I get up in the morning, I'm rushing to tennis or I'm rushing to Walmart. And guess what? My shirt's on backwards. So, folks, anybody out there, if you see my shirt's on back, don't let me play 3 sets of tennis or pickleball with my shirt on backwards. Just tell me, I'll go into the locker room. I'll put it on the right way. Just give me a heads up, folks, if my shirt's on backwards. Matter of fact, in a previous video that I'm not using, I had my shirt on backwards to start, just as a dopey bit. But I couldn't get the shirt back on because did you ever try and unbutton a shirt that you button backwards? It's not easy, folks. It's just not easy. Wasn't worth the time in a bit, but would have been a good idea. And finally, one more rant of the day. This one concerns your favorite show, a couple of favorite TV sitcoms, classic when I was a kid. The first one is Laverne and Shirley, and it concerns Lenny and Squiggy. Why? Well, I want to know why Lenny, Michael McKean, went on after that show to have a fantastic career after doing the bit parts as Lenny in Laverne and Shirley, where Squiggy had such a non-career, I can't even remember his real name, folks. So Lenny has a fantastic career. They started on the same plane in Laverne and Shirley, the 2 walk-ons. Lenny goes on to have a fantastic career in movies such as Spinal Tap, and he played the brother in Better Call Saul. Plenty of movies, all those parody movies he's in. Where is Squiggy, folks? Is he doing dinner theater somewhere? Poor Squiggy. Lenny, you couldn't give him a break? You couldn't get him a walk-on and Better Call Saul? No, nothing. Doesn't happen in Hollywood. How about Bosom Buddies? Our friends Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari. Yeah, we all know what happened to Tom Hanks. Peter Scolari? Tom, you're in a million movies. You couldn't give him a break and throw him a bit part in one? Maybe he plays a waiter or something. I think he did put him in a couple. And he did that Bob Newhart sitcom for years. So I think Peter's doing okay if he's still alive. Who knows? Anyway, that's our Hollywood rant of the day. And that brings us to we have more rants coming up in future episodes because as I think of them, I write them down. Bring to you for your enjoyment. Our final segment, of course, is we talk about our play of the week. Usually it's a Simonelli play because I'm self-serving. But it does bring in I keep forgetting to write this down, folks. This is the 3rd time I didn't write it down and I got to ad-lib it. Our new feature, let's ask the Bard. So let's bring the Bard in right now. Bard, are you familiar with my play, which deals with you, by the way, Where There's a Will, where Shakespeare time travels to help out a modern-day playwright? Now, what did you think of that play, Bard? 'Tis thus astounding am I. Thou art truly a worthy scribe. Why, thank you, Bard. Have you read any of my other plays, and what do you think of them? 'Tis thus astounded am I. Thou art truly a worthy bard. Scribe. Thank you. Thank you. You like Neil Simon? 'Tis thus astounded am I. He is truly a worthy scribe. That's very kind of you. Well, that's our feature. Let's ask the Bard. Let's put him back on the shelf until next week when we'll discuss other plays with the Bard. If you'd like to discuss a play with the Bard, put it in the comments. Your favorite play. We'll ask the Bard what he thinks. I think I know what he's going to say. Okay, back on the shelf, Bard. So I think that about wraps it up, folks. Comment in there. I'm on stocks, on plays, on anything. Who dies next? Anything you like to do because, really this podcast has no format, folks. It's just whatever comes out of my... Is he mental? Joe Simonelli. A resounding yes. Okay, that's it for this week, folks. If you like it, spread the word. like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Signing off. Don't know when I'll talk to you again, but I will comment on the stock market and answer any of your questions. Hopefully, I'll get to you next weekend. Thanks. Joe Simonelli signing off for now.